combos. And again, that's because he has that finishing plus attack, that finishing plus ability that allows him to use 2 finishers, and Magnet counts as a finisher. So he'll do this over and over again as long as Stitch will keep licking him, which he's doing a bad job of right now.
We have 2 backup ethers, just in case Stitch isn't the nicest guy.
He's doing pretty good right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I want to keep doing this until we hit about 20, or about
1,500 away from level 24. So we're...
All right, that's my last
we've
backup
used
ether.
up both ethers.
Typically, you're expected to use both of them, so now it's up to Stitch.
This is the one big grind session of the run, and everything else from here on out is pretty quick.
We're almost
there's level 23. We have under 3,000 to go. One more should do it.
That's good.
There it is. Nice.
Excellent.
So ending with over 30 seconds left is pretty good there. So, yeah, just kind of just the perfect spot to get grinding in right
that's
there.
about like 4.5 levels in the span of like a minute. It's pretty good, and it's incredibly important.
If I'm not mistaken, we're completely done with Stitch.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, so if you remember the run from AGDQ 2015 or any other kind of runs from around that time, you'll know that we used to use every single summon, and quite a few times we relied on Stitch. Completely eliminated from the run now, other than that one use. A lot of improvements.
This is one of my personal favorite strats, actually, the hostile program.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So right there, he just picked up the Gaia belt. That's going to be for defense, but he's not going to equip it until later. It's not going to make a difference right now. So going into the fight, he's going to start off with quick running into the middle of the arena to close the gap, and then you go into Donald's Comet. He wants to use the finisher from Donald's Comet on hostile program because he also has a bunch of HP gates that are determined by when you kind of break off pieces of him. So Sora's positioning is very specific to keep him in that. You can see a big chunk of him just fell off.
Similar to that previous minigame, this boss has clusters, and they're used to freeze him like that. Master Form is that new drive form that we got that uses both of your allies, and it does a lot of damage with these crazy combos.
You need to get to about 1.9 bars right here to hit that last gate.
There it is. He just hit it. So
got
now
all my orbs, and then we wait, and right as he comes straight over to me, we'll freeze him.
Comet again one more time, and this will just let him do a lot of damage while also doing combos. He's having to hit triangle while also doing these combos, so it's not as easy as it might look.
There you go.
There it goes.
You really, at this point in the game, you're seeing all these different techniques and tools that Bloody has as he's bringing them together to make for some incredibly sexy fights.
Yeah, this game is all about boss strats and beating waves of enemies, so just using the right tool for the right fight is all this game is about.
And you might think, okay, well, once you get an upgraded version of a tool, you're just going to stick to that the whole time. There's a lot of strategies that involve
everything is incredibly useful.
Like even right here, you see there's one specific enemy there, the dancer. He wants to lock onto that dancer specifically in order to just have it in the best position. And as you see, his drive form is filling up very quickly from using these magnets. Get Chicken Little out.
Reflect for extra damage.
Getting kind of a double magnet effect here. That was really good.
Yeah, that was insane. And now he ended the fight with Chicken Little out. Our party members are going to be walking around here, so he's going to have his drive refunded.
Next fight, we got a bunch of dancers. Dancers are very scary. They're one of the first enemies in the game that can straight up one-shot you. You hit them like one time, and they grab you, they kill you. So he needs to get Chicken Little out and keep these guys just stunned the entire fight, ideally. Now, he's going to be walking around. These enemies are going to drop MP bubbles, and he wants to pick those up to extend, to be able to use one more usage of Magnet. Magnet uses up a lot of MP. That's going to get us into the final wave. Going to throw an ether, get this up, drop out Chicken Little, so he can now start building back up his drive gauge.
Watch that drive gauge.
Nice.
All the way up to 4 from 2 instantly. Good fight. And that is very crucial because he's going to be using Limit Form. Our first instance of Limit Form is going to be in this next boss fight.
Dimix.
And you need 4 drive in order to use Limit Form.
This is a pretty notable boss from a lot of people's childhood.
This guy sucks.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting, the strats that we use to take care of this guy, especially the clones in it, for instance. You guys want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we got 50 water clones out. He needs to get them under between like 30 and 35. Now he's going to use a two-phase trinity, stand right in the middle here. Once he gets them under 5 forms, he can now go into the finisher and watch that health bar.
Yeah. Trinity has a really crazy use here.
Does an unbelievable amount of damage. Now he's going to be going into limit form after popping him into the air. He's going to use his Zantetsuken, which is just the main finisher, into an Ars Arcanum combo. You might be familiar with this attack
Stunlock
from
him straight back to
KH1.
this.
Now he's going to reflect immediately after reverting from limit form, going to Comet for a lot of invulnerability and extra damage. And now he's going to wait for a retaliation and go into Comet Rain for some extra damage.
That was beautiful. A little subtle thing right there is Bloody tried to make sure he pushed Demix into his revenge value to where he was doing that attack, to where Donald's Comet wouldn't knock him up in the air or anything. He had that brick wall effect essentially, so that he wasn't moving around and still getting all that damage in. Now we're throwing on that Gaia Belt we just picked up in addition to setting up some more potions and ethers. Now we've got probably just the scariest chunk of the game, these 4 Final Fantasy fights. We call them the Final Fantasy fights because a different Final Fantasy character joins us for each of them. In this case, Yuffie.
Yeah, and the worst part about the Final Fantasy fights is not only are they difficult and have a lot of enemies that are very hard to control, but on top of it, if you die at any point in the Final Fantasy fights, you get sent back to before Demix. So you have to do that fight again. This is one of the, like Ogi, one of the bigger chunks of the potential time loss in the run. Yuffie's platform isn't too bad, but we use limit form again on top of it now. So we're going to try to use limit form by the end of the Final Fantasy fight. So we're also going to be watching our drive gauge, building that back up over these platforms. Nice magnet into Trinity usage here, because every time an enemy moves in and out of a magnet, they take extra damage. So whenever you use a Trinity and a magnet together, you're getting a lot of extra damage.
That large enemy you saw right there, the big blue one, the Morningstar, they're some of the scariest, they are the scariest enemies in these fights right now. He's going to have a ton of them right here in this Tifa fight. So he's going to be using a setup by using a magnet finishing leap, which the magnet is still on screen, having these different, these soldier enemies spawn into it, and you can use their Rising Sun commands. Now he's going to be using a lot of magnet to try to keep these Morning Stars incapacitated as long as possible. Tifa's actually doing a lot also, by the way. The Final Fantasy characters are generally very useful.
Come on, there we go.
Yeah, okay. You needed Tifa to stun that guy because he
Oh, wow, she went after the shadows.
That's a
course.
one-shot.
All right. There we go.
All right.
Yo,
Okay.
she got that shadow,
That
though.
was scary. All right, so now we're going into the last platform, which is Cloud's platform. And we used to kind of just let Cloud do most of the work here, but we do want to level up Limit Form throughout this run. And the way Limit Form levels up is by using these limits, like the Sonic Rave that he's using here. And so he's going to get hit intentionally in order to have MP Rage fill up his MP bar again. He's going to do it again. And luckily, every time that you use one, triangle press of a limit in limit form, you get healed. So it works out really well so that he can hit level 3 through right in this fight. Or sorry, level 2 in this fight.
Yo, Cloud, Omni Slash me, baby.
Thanks,
there
bud.
we go.
Donate for Omni Slash.
Yeah,
by the way.
do that. All right, so we got through. That was great, by the way. Yes.
All right, now Dax, this fight coming up.
Sucks.
Does?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
There's about 1,000 Heartless on the screen.
Okay, what do they call the fight?
1,000 Heartless fight.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Do that.
Keep going. What else with the fight?
There are these, what do you even call them, actually?
Sentry dudes.
Yeah, sentry dudes. The idea is that we're going to try to grab a bunch of these and use this laser
Okay,
that's
there we
gonna
go.
wipe out a lot of the enemies around, like you're seeing right here. The other guys give you Rising Sun, and it's not very strong. It does a decent amount of damage, but you're not really clearing a lot of enemies at the time, so this is much more ideal. And Bloody's going to be trying to throw this particular one in a certain direction to...
he's off to the side.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with him. I'm loyal. Here we go.
You might be looking around and seeing like all these other the robot enemies and thinking like, oh, why doesn't he just go grab one of them? A lot of those are not real.
Okay. Thank you.
Right,
Got
this
hit
is
in the
based
back.
on the PS2, so a lot of those background enemies aren't actually really there. There's only a certain area that they're actually going to spawn into, so those are leftover graphical assets because PS2 can render 1,000 Heartless at once.
Yeah, you see him use Thunder occasionally. That's because the surveillance robots can use one of 2 attacks. And if they use a longer attack, you can't snag them right away. So you use Thunder to immediately push them into the better attack for us. Now this fight's not going too bad so far. It's really awful because of how random it is. And
Started off very rocky.
yeah, and it's still very easy to die.
Recovery, though,
You abandoned your dude. Switch to a different one. All right, there are a lot of
gotta go
surveillance
fast,
robots
dude.
right now, which is good, but also scary
Oh,
because
man,
they
it's
can.
scary.
They
Yeah,
can
you want to
kill
have
you.
those iframes through those.
Yeah, luckily we have an ability now called Once More, which means that if he gets comboed by an enemy, he won't get killed. It will only take him to 1 health maximum, or minimum rather. He can, however, die from a one-shot still.
Yes.
Like if something does enough damage to completely take away his health bar, he can do that.
That is probably the last surveillance robot we got. We only need 1 more usage of it, likely.
Thanks.
All right.
There we go. Finish off the
Take out
last
the
guy, and there it is.
That is definitely a very scary stretch of the run. Lots of randomness to it. Deaths are very punching, especially if you die somewhere in the Final Fantasy fight, sending you back before Demix. So
Yeah, and with that, we're about 2/3 of the way through the run. Remember, folks, let's hit 900,000 as soon as we possibly can.
Yep.
For that donation total, so get them in.
yeah, so now what the game wants us to do, you can probably view it as a little bit of filler, but it wants you to unlock the path, the ability to go to any of the Disney worlds in the game. So on the right side of worlds, we have to defeat Land of Dragons and Beast Castle, and on the left side, we have to beat Port Royal, Agrabah, and Halloween Town. So you have to do 5 worlds of cleanup right now.
We're taking a quick pit stop over here. We're not actually going to defeat Zaldin right now. We're just here for the Keyblade, but we'll be back later.
And the reason why he dipped into the parlor there was so he could save warp back into there later on.
Cool little fight here. This is actually one that Bloody started on back in HDQ 2015. He started his leg of the journey on and had to recover in the middle of it. Nice, faster way of doing it this time. We get a magnet into Trinity. And again, every time enemies move in and out of that magnet, they take damage.
That was
So-
much better.
So it's not actually that overdrive phase of Trinity that's dealing the damage. It's like Hobbs saying, it just keeps bouncing them in and out of it over and over and over again.
Also on top of that, adding to your hit counter
Yes.
for the
As
the
we
Trinity
found that
finisher.
out yesterday.
All right, now we're going to do a bit of manipulation here. So I'm going to go back and forth between these rooms, seemingly for no reason. But the reason we're doing it is because this is a bulky vendor spawn. If there are no bulky vendors here, then what you can do is you can go back and forth between that bulky vendor room. And in all the other worlds, there are also other bulky vendor spawns. They will then be triggered to activate, so I can get bulky vendors over there.
And what bulky
So-
vendors are these just little enemies that give you prizes, that give you synth items and a few other things.
It's for the experience.
But they mainly give you a lot of experience, and they are very easy. You don't have to kill them, you just use a reaction command on them.
Even though we're leaving, we're taking Beast out of the party just to set that up for when we come back. Because each world will kind of memorize that.
We're going to have to come back there. We could finish it now, but the main thing is that we just wanted the Rumbling Rose Keyblade from there, because as we mentioned at the beginning of this game, Bloody on critical mode starts with a finishing plus, which allows him to do 2 finishers. Rumbling Rose has an additional finishing plus on it. So now he can do 3 finishers on any enemy, and it provides a lot of cool strategies.
Yeah, this fight, obviously pretty straightforward, but you can kind of notice this is one combo. He used 3 big, strong blizzards there. So, and I don't even know if we mentioned that necessarily, but magic also can be comboed, it can be slipped into your combos along with your physical attacks. And if they're used at the end, then they are applied finisher damage as well. Right there, so every time that you want to move somewhere in Port Royal, you'll get ambushed by a fight. The first time we came to Port Royal, the first 2 times, we just went ahead and took the fights, killed them, got the experience fast enough. These 2 times here, we're just going to enter the boat, exit it, and then we can move again.
Yeah, but before that we have Grim Reaper. This is the heartless boss of this this world, and he behaves like the pirates, just like Barbossa did. So you can freeze him with Blizzard, and we know how his revenge value will, what his revenge value is at and how he'll react. So everything in this fight is, scripted out very strongly to be able to hopefully kill him with 1 usage of Master Form. Ideally without a teleport, but we'll take 1. And hopefully we can finish him off here. Look at how much damage Master Form
Master
does.
Form is just swag. So right now he's actually got the Hero's Crest, which again, remember, gave us that air combo boost. So that is why you're, in addition to getting all these big finishers, you're also getting an air combo boost, just making all these.
not too
not
bad.
quite.
It's okay. Honestly, the damage was pretty bad, and so me getting that much damage is already pretty good. All right.
You might have also noticed that he kind of reset the combo there with Master Form, and he was using a bunch of Reflects. That was to kind of replace the weaker attacks of Master Form
Bye,
with just
Peter
those
Pan. I
quick
love you.
animations. Aw, Peter.
We used to grab Peter Pan. We used to use every summon in this run. Now we
Yeah.
don't.
Peter Pan is now not used nearly so much, and the reason for that is we're going to get the reason that we don't need it at the end of this world. A big reward known as a duck flare.
Yeah, we'll get more to that later. For now, we need to collect some medallions from these gamblers. And in order to do that, you got to kill them. So they are all usually timed. And some of them are actually harder to get than others. Some of them are pretty difficult to do quickly. But now that we deal, quite a bit of damage, and we have that third finisher on all of our attacks, we can use a lot of Magnet, Finishing Leap into full combos. As well as Magnet is just stronger in the PS4 version than some of the others.
There are actually multiples of these nobodies, these enemies that you can go around and find. You just have to kill any 4 of them. So by going to this island, we can find 3 quick runs.
That's the hardest one to get. You only have 10 seconds to do it, but not a problem for Bloody.
Yeah, so we have triple finisher here. So Magnet is counted as a finisher, and then from there we do Magnet, Guard Break, Finishing Leap. And then some horizontal slashes. Yeah.
When you use Finishing Leap, you can then, you're automatically put in the air, and then you can go into your air combo. So it makes for these really long, extended combos you can do, where you do a bunch of stuff on the ground, use Finishing Leap to pop you up in the air, and then use a whole air combo, whatever you want to do.
And now
like
look
you're
at
seeing right here.
His MP is pretty low right now, and you actually don't get a refill before the next boss, so he throws an Ether right before picking up that medallion.
All right, Grim Reaper 2. There is the gimmick of this fight is that there is a chest in the middle with the 882 medallions. We need to get all of those and put it back in, otherwise we can't actually damage this guy. He is, once again, just like the pirate said himself earlier, he is very weak to magic. So he starts off with using a blizzard, knocking 30 coins out and just freezing him. Thunder is the best because it will get you 50 coins knocked out, but it will not stun him in any way.
It'll force him to retaliate, in fact, which is why you use the Reflect. Now we go into some more basic combos. And I guess still at Donald had to
Yeah, I
switch him
forgot
to
about
Goofy.
that. It's okay.
Yeah, just because Donald, I mean, you guys know this from playing the game casually, Donald dies very quickly.
On top of that, if he's set to attack enemies, he uses magic, which could affect these strats for this boss.
So he's hit the first HP gate. Now we're going into the second phase. He's going to guard this initial attack and then go right into the reaction command. This is very specific. He's actually going to lock onto him after this reaction command, let Sora land on the ground, and then use 2 thunders, which hits him from all the way up in the air, and there's all our coins.
Yep,
So
all of them off the boss. We're going to have to freeze him again so we can put them all back in the chest. And we're going to do a lot of combos to push him back into his third phase and final phase. Again, Blizzard is freezing him and allowing him to really get a lot of this ground damage off.
I wanted a Reflect there.
He wants to make sure he didn't use all of his MP. Sorry, Bloody, go for it.
No. I just didn't want him to teleport. But just one little left tap, and we'll be good to go. Now we're going into the third phase. Most important, for sure.
He needs to keep his party members alive, so he's going to go into Trinity Limit right here.
Just using it right in front of that chest because of its invulnerability. Now he's going to use Master Form, and that explosion gives him some invulnerability.
Enjoy this.
Now we get to use a lot of Thunder. Look at how quickly those numbers are decreasing for that boss counter in the top right.
Triple Thunder, baby.
Everything's gone. We're going to run around, pick up all the medallions, and freeze them. Put them all into that chest.
Nice.
Now we get to finish him off with some good old combos.
Come here. There we go.
He waited for him to kind of get lower to the ground there. When he's near the chest, he can kind of raise up in the air, and it can just make it harder to hit those ground combos.
One more.
I have to wait for one more teleport. He's just a little mean today. There we go. One of the things we've noted in past runs, too, that we haven't really touched on yet here, is that in order to finish any boss, you need to use an attack that will count as a finishing attack, which a lot of times can just be the end of your combo, just a basic finisher, or it can be magic. Magic actually acts as a finisher for bosses as well. Or we can use certain attacks like horizontal slash, which is that move where he's moving back and forth side to side in the air. So that's why you'll see that a lot on a lot of the bosses from here on out.
And now we just got the best limit in the game.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, there we go. That's what I want.
I was like, what is a huddle attack?
There we go.
Flare Force. We went ahead and took Comet out just so it doesn't clutter up our menu. We're done with it. Now we're going to be using Duck Flare for quite a few fights throughout the rest of the run.
Yeah, Duck Flare just got completely broken in the PS4 English version.
Yeah, that is actually the reason we didn't mention this earlier. I'm not sure if we did, But we're playing on the English version because Duck Flare is only as good as it is on the English version, and it's the fastest version because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be Japanese was just a few seconds
Just in
faster.
case.
There's not a ton of
Oh.
text in this game.
Hey, what's up? There you go.
Yeah, wants to make sure he knocks all 3 of these kids out so that they're not moving around.
Dude, nice
It's pretty
golf
hard to aim these. See, that one's called capture.
It is.
Gotcha.
Have you ever played golf? It looks exactly like that.
That's exactly
You hit a
Look
lot
at
of
me, huh?
presents.
right. So moving on. So right here, we talked about the RNG manipulation we did earlier for the bulky vendors. So we should have 2 right here.
This is where things get a bit scary. What we're actually going to do is we're going to try and experience boost this other vendor over here. Okay, well, your boy Stitch is not going to let us do that. I think that actually might have been a better that he actually saved me because I was in the wrong position there. But it's going to be okay. We did manipulate the other vendor in Agrabah, so we'll just be able to pick that one up instead. All right.
We finally get access to some skateboards here.
They throw them
quick
in a couple of the later worlds.
Still a lot faster than quick running.
All right, now this is a pretty scary fight as well.
Each of these 4 White Knights has a present. When you collect all 4 of them, you're done with the fight. But much stronger enemies will spawn in after 3 of these 4 die. So we have to make sure we kind of pull these guys over here to the loading zone and then start taking care of them.
And
There
if
we go.
you're Zetris or me, you crash there.
Yeah.
So good job on not crashing the game. They've actually patched this game a couple of times, so hopefully that one's gone.
Right. Yeah, this PS4 version used to have a lot of crashing issues. So their current patch, they fixed most things. There's a few.
There's one fight towards the very end that's going to be quite problematic because of a change that they made that quite broke the fight.
But before that, we got some presents to collect. This is completely random. We want big presents, not small presents. Edo, I think you know what randomness and auto-scrolly time things means.
No problem. Sarah Stardew donates $500, saying,
Oh, here we are.
saying, we're rooting for you, BB. Make us proud.
Yo, thank you. Sarah is probably one of my most well-known viewers of my stream, so thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Now we're hopping right from there into the final boss
So,
of this world.
This will be your introduction to Duck Flare, just how good it is.
Yeah, this is the experiment fight. We used to use Peter Pan on this fight, and because Duck Flare is so good, we don't have to anymore. Immediately, you can use Duck Flare and just go right into the finisher pretty quickly because it does a lot of damage. It's going to push him past his first phase. It's going to be able to break him now with full combo, just like that. It's going to guard an attack here and throw this piece into the other to try to
Good.
reconnect them.
Nice.
Wasn't sure if that was going to work, so glad it did.
It had to go into a specific piece, and it's based on Sora's position which way you'll throw him. Donald was dead.
How did Donald die? Oh my god. All right, well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, Donald must have died the second he came back.
$10, Biz.
All right, we'll give that another try.
Having the first death of the run in the experiment is not too uncommon.
2 hours and 16 minutes into the run, pretty good. Yep. An unfortunate requirement of limits is that the characters that they're based on need to be alive. So, and that's what makes it unfortunate that Donald has such good limits, because he obviously dies very easily.
So yeah,
he's
the
going
goal
to
here
die
is
that
to
time.
use the summon to make it so that when they come out of the summon, they will come back with some health.
Yeah, he doesn't actually really care about Chicken Little.
There we go.
There we go.
Back into Duck Flare. We're going to be seeing this for the rest of this fight.
There's also that top right corner. You see that limit gauge? He makes sure that he wants to use the finisher before that runs out. And he can kind of hold it in different positions.
He knows he's going to get a retaliation there, so he's already planning that reflect the entire time. He was able to throw an ether. And use more Duck Flare.
Smile for the camera.
All right, so we get Decisive Pumpkin as a result of that. That's probably the best Keyblade that we're going to get, and we're going to be using that for the rest of the run. That is the highest strength stat that we can get, and combo boost, enhancing our ground finishers. And we're going to be using a lot of those as we go along.
Yeah, so him swapping out those Keyblades there, putting the Rumbling Rose on, I believe it was
Master Form.
Master Form, and putting Decisive Pumpkin on his.
Just to
on his
be
Keyblade.
safe.
Yeah, here's the other bulky vendor he was talking about earlier. Just going to pick him up.
Chicken Little will take care of these guys trying to hit me. Actually, you know what? Here, come here. I'm not sure if I'm over-leveled or under-leveled in this situation, so I'm just going to kill these guys just for safety.
Yeah. The number he's trying to hit is by the end of all the Heartless he's about to go out and fight here in the desert, he wants to be level 30 because that has a strength increase, making it much, much safer and much easier to get a quick kill on Genie Jafar, the final boss of this world. Fighting on the carpet, you're without your other characters, Donald and Goofy, and Aladdin for that matter.
Ooh,
so you're without a lot of tools.
You also control the carpet with the right analog stick, which means even the most minor movements of the camera will affect where your carpet position is.
Had to use an extra ether there, just to kind of patch things up.
This fight's the worst. It's incredibly
Okay, so
obnoxious.
I think it was a good idea that I killed those extra guys.
Now we have to chase Jafar through this entire area, and he's going to stop at 3 different spots. And each spot, you just need to give him a little love tap, like that. And this is not, actually Jafar. It's some creation of
Clone of
Jafar's.
some sort, yeah.
And but at the last one, you need to make sure you use a finisher, which is why Bloody's made sure that he has MP left, because he's going to be using Thunder on it instead of attacking it, because you'd have to get all the way to the end of your combo.
There's also just a lot of nuance in moving this carpet without ever like stopping in place, making sure you always have that good movement to catch up to him each time. Now we have our next carpet fight. A few more waves. The basic idea of this, it sucks, but you want to move back to the wall to kind of hit that barrier so the enemies will all gather with you, and then throw up your magnet. It'll go to whichever enemy Sora is targeted onto. So that's why you're seeing Bloody here. He has the preference to just go up to the top so that they're not constantly going up and down.
Yeah.
Now,
they traps those in a magnet in order to force this retaliation and move them down a little bit. Had thrown ether while the next couple got picked up the magnet, finishing off the Crimson Jazz at the end of that fight.
Nice. Yeah, it's kind of this beautiful combo where you are throwing up a magnet, catching the enemies that are spawning in, reflecting them, throwing up the magnet, which kills them, and then the next enemies that spawn in, they get caught in that last magnet. So you can kind of loop it together. It's one of those fights that can either be beautiful or it can suck. If it just things just go a little bit wrong, you get a little bit off. Now we've got these 3 locks we need to hit with all our 3 kind of basic magics: Fire, Blizzard, and Thunder.
Yeah.
So
the route a couple years ago was to get the Fire one first, but we're actually going to get it last. Just so happens that the routing is a bit better this time around.
On top of that, we used to despawn those enemies before the Thunder one, but turns out if you just move pretty quickly, you don't have to worry about them.
Yeah, but I'm going to despawn these guys, or at least make it so that there are less enemies, just to get this fire switch. Makes it a little bit easier. And then all we have to do is get up here, and we're good to go.
Yo, nice, you made it. All right. So, for this last bit, it's kind of one more auto-scroller of sorts where we're going to be flying around on the carpet. And there's no way to speed this up. One thing that I find really quirky about it is that you actually can't use experience boost here, like getting below half health. It's just a property of this minigame or fight. So, again, what we're looking for here is level 30. Oh, you're fine. Yeah. Sora is always going to be, the way you can know is Sora is always the last one to reach a level. The other characters will get there first. So we saw Goofy got level 30 there. Bloody should be able to get like 6,500 experience or so from all this.
Yeah, I didn't mention earlier, but level 30 is a strength increase. And in FM, when you get a stat increase, it increases by 2. And just by the way the game scales your damage, since we're so close to the battle level, any tiny level up, any small change in our stats is going to make a dramatic difference in our damage output. So level 30 is like a make or break. You have to get it right now. So.
But anyways, yeah, while he's finishing this up, Edo, if you want to read off a couple donations.
No problem. I have a $150 donation from Swerdna that says, always been a big fan of Kingdom Hearts. Kill the animals. We have a $50 donation from Page A that says, had to donate during Kingdom Hearts as it's my favorite series. Great singing, everyone. Really excited for that data org run. Good luck, Bloody.
Thank you.
Geeky Manatee donates $20 saying, been playing the Kingdom Hearts games since the first one was released. Easily one of my favorite game series of all times. Cheers to SGDQ, the staff, the runners, and the Disney songs. Also, double cheers to Bloody for making Critical Mode look effortless.
Thank you.
We have a $15 donation from Stan248 that says, songs, Strats, Spike Vegeta, Sora, Speed.
Arms?
Sounds so sweet.
Arms.
Sorry, I had to throw that one in there.
We have a $500 donation from Anonymous saying, I've never seen this game played before, and it looks like so much fun. But this
It
money
really is.
but this money is for your amazing singing. If I donate to OmniSlash, will you sing along with One Winged Angel?
No guarantees.
That's some Latin.
Probably
I'm not
won't
sure
be
I know.
So cool little save warp again. PS4 just makes those fast. Now he's going to be moving into this Genie fight, which, as Bloody was saying, he really wanted that level up for. He's going to be looking to skip his desperation move, this big dark attack where he's invulnerable for a while and just wastes a ton of time. But he's got to start off first by hitting him in the abs. Don't know why, but
That's
yeah.
where you go.
Now, the weird kind of main property about this fight, the easiest way to try to get this DM skip, is that the carpet has this natural, sliding dash move, and it actually can hit enemies more than once. So you actually intentionally move partially away from Genie right here, and then let the slide and dash hit him multiple times before continuing on your combo. So you're not just mashing X again, you're actually putting on specific delays.
Bloody put up that reflect there to avoid a hold move that Gene Jafar would have used.
Yeah, the Thunder usage there passed an HP gate, so that way he could just get in the maximum amount of damage possible. Now, hopefully, yeah, he's got plenty of damage. After this roll-up, he should be able to finish him off in just a couple short combos. There we go. If he didn't skip the DM, he would have wasted like 30-something seconds.
And
or
it's
something.
it's quite
awful.
dangerous once you get out of the DM too.
Yeah.
So as I said, what the game is checking for at this point is that you have access to all of the different worlds. So as you can see, now that opens up the path. You could go to Pride Lands after you did the Gummy mission right there. So the left side is completely covered. Now on the right side, we just have Land of Dragons to go do and finishing up Beast Castle. A lot of you might remember Beast Castle is where you fought Zaldin. Like you were here, Chip and Dale.
Yeah, it's the
I
entire
talked about
time.
that earlier.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know.
It's very.
I'm not sure if it's the game or like audio bug, but either way, it's okay.
It doesn't matter. We hear them like 3 times.
Yeah.
But yeah, before we fight Zaldin, we do have these Dragoons. They'll telegraph their attack by that little shine right there. That means they're going to teleport. So you know you can put up a reflect, go right into Magnet, and do your thing.
Come here. All right.
We got these 2 Dusks right now, and then we're going to 3 more Dragoons. This ground attack they do right there will kill, so Bloody makes sure to stay away from it. We're going to go
Waiting
into
for the
our
teleport
reflect,
again.
into the Magnet, and Duck Flare.
Very
Nice.
quick end of the fight. Duck Flare, again, any time that you don't really have to worry about your MP or something, you'll probably use it to finish off fights. Now we're going into one of the cooler strats of the run. If you played this game casually, if you played it as a kid, you probably remember Zaldin. Not a fun guy to fight.
Yeah.
Master Form in critical mode, as well as some very precise routing, makes this really cool.
With being in Master Form and having those 2 Keyblades, with the 2 reaction boosts we have right now, we're doing a ton of damage on each of these jumps. You can stock up to 9 jumps each time.
And then he goes straight into Duck Flare again, completely buffed in this PS4 English version. And that's all it's going to be for the fight. Unbelievable. The speed at which Bloody has to mash, too, in order to get 9 jumps out of pressing that triangle button for the reaction command is just absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's a pretty tiny window to do it in. So with that, we just have Land of Dragons. That once we defeat that, that will open up the path to Umbliss Coliseum, and we'll be done. So going here, our first fight is with, spoiler alert, it's Riku. It's going to be a solo fight, Sora versus him. So we're going to be utilizing those solo strats, having stuff like Limit Form and Trinity Limit.
Mm-hmm. Those are pretty much your only tools that you have at your disposal, besides also magic and combos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the ways that they kind of vary up the gameplay instead of just always sticking to one thing is by taking away your party members at various points. And we see that a lot in the final world, too.
Again, using that technique where he baited out an attack from Riku, reflecting that and snapping back over to him with using Trinity, so that the reflect damage then goes off.
So now we'll try to get in a couple combos here, and then immediately go into the limit form. Get his Zantetsuken here into a Sonic Rave. He uses Sonic Rave because, wow, that was actually really fast. He uses Sonic Rave because Riku kind of move around randomly and it'll easily catch up to him, as opposed to something like ours
Wait.
Arcanum.
I always mess this up. It's okay. There we go. That's what I'm looking for.
Now, instead of save warping, we actually use Wisdom Form here. We can't really save warp because we haven't been over there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it resets it now that we're kind of in the second trip of worlds. As you can see, once again, utilizing fire there just to skip out that to skip out on that ledge grab right there. There is another bulky vendor here to note that we also manipulated, but we don't need them.
Yeah,
at this
level
point.
30 is like the last really important level in the run. So
Yeah.
now that we've got it, we don't have to worry about experience.
Dismisses, or reverts rather, out of Wisdom Form there because I assume he's going to use a limit here.
Yeah, we used Magnet plus Major Drive, but we're going to use Ultima this time around, actually. It's a really, I don't know what it is. I think it has to do with the bolt towers and how big they are and how they just kind of collide together in the magnet, but does an insane amount of hits.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah.
283 hits from pressing one button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's also because of that magnet being there.
All right, so now we're introduced to our next. Each of the nobodies, this like different type of enemy we've been seeing in the second part of the game, they're based on a different data organization member or a different organization member. These being the snipers based on Zigbar. They can be very dangerous as well. They have a lot of shots that can 1- and 2-shot you. So
Good.
we're gonna make sure we keep them all close again with these magnets. Again, Magnet and Reflect are just really good tools to
Perfect.
handle that. They died so fast. My God. Magnet and Reflect being really good tools just for crowd control.
We're not done yet, though. The kind of theme of these revisits are very fast, very fast, very fast.
Yeah.
So we're going straight into the final boss of Land Dragons here.
We're actually going to see some Genie, some in use. We haven't really seen much of it, but now we're actually going to get to use them.
Genie actually has a different form based on each of your drive forms that you have. Right now he's in Master form and he doesn't want that. So while we're waiting in this cutscene, you can actually set him to Valor form. So as you can see, it allows you to have iframes and also just get in damage while you're kind of waiting for those lightning attacks to go down.
Good damage.
Now, normally Bloody could have grabbed back onto the horn and not get thrown off right there, but it's faster just to go ahead and over-damage him and just get in as much damage as you can.
Okay. It's a little bit low on damage, but Duck Flare is really good, so it's going to just take care of the slop.
Throw up a Reflect, because that actually works on this. As you can see, a huge chunk of health just shot off right there.
And now straight into Duck Flare, and he's going to be using Mega Duck Flare, the finisher of it, almost immediately. And there it is.
There you go.
As you can see, U.S. Duck Flare,
Yeah.
really, really strong.
Insanely strong. We're not even close to being done with it by any means.
And that does it for our revisits. We're actually going into our final gummy mission here. They randomly want you to go through one to get back to Twilight Town again, which will then send you there to the world that never was, the final dungeon.
Yeah.
So with that, this is one of our last really good spots to read donations. So Edo, you got like 3.5 minutes. Just go for it.
All right. We have a $100 donation from Pop Punk Game Time that says, "So glad I have the opportunity to donate to SGDQ this year. Even better that I can donate during my favorite game. Great job with the Kingdom Hearts 2 run so far." We have a $150 donation from Salamus39 saying, "I've been watching GDQs for 6 years now. I've always used to look forward to Spike's runs, but having him on the couch is almost as good. Love you all. Keep up the good work." We have a $20 donation from XLaws that says, "Good luck on the run, Bloody Biscuits. May the Goofy be with you."
Thank you.
We have a $50 donation from Andyman3 that says, "Hey SGDQ, Andyman here. I want to apologize for my bad English. It's my birthday today, and my favorite game is running right now." And the voice, Spike Vegeta, giving the commentary? How could this day get better? Well, we are doing something for charity. Thank you very much for the event and the entertainment you give us. You guys rock. We have a $15 donation from Calculus that says, "I'm not heartless or anything, but kill the animals." The Rixer donates $10 saying, "Hey KH community,
Yo,
Ricky here.
What's up, Ricky?
Hope to see you all again next AGDQ. I for sure will be going to see you all there. This community is so supportive and hardworking when it comes to optimizing these games. Also loving the charisma on the couch. Keep it up, guys." We have a $10 donation from Ninten866 that says,
Hey.
Yo, BB. I've been super hyped to watch this all week, and you guys are doing amazing so far. Good luck on the rest, and shout-outs to the KH community.
Yeah, Ninten is the current greatest of all time player of Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah.
He is the GOAT.
One of the all-time elites
He
in
has,
Kingdom Hearts speedrunning.
in every single category of, every single like mainline category of KH2, he has world record. He's pretty incredible, dude.
That is insane.
Yeah, dude's good.
We have a lot of categories, so yeah.
We have a $50 donation from Asa that says, I remember leveling all the forms to max for an unnecessary amount of time in Kingdom Hearts 2. So it's definitely something to see Bl00dyBizkitz go through it without the grind. Thanks y'all for bringing the nostalgia and keep up the amazing run. Big Tasted donates $15 saying Gaston and Hellfire were incredible. Good luck on the rest of the run and let's soar to 900K. Sorry, this run needed more puns.
Like someone just died in the back, or there's a zombie. That did it. That was the straw that broke the
That was
camel's back.
that was the one. We had a $10 donation from Catherine54 that says Gaston and LeFaux were amazing. Many goes to Spike's choice. We have a $15 donation from Not Myself that says, had to donate again during one of my all-time favorite games to let the couch know that was an amazing rendition of Hellfire. Although it doesn't hold a candle to the desolate tones of my favorite commentator, Spike Vegeta, send this to Spike's choice.
What is your choice, Spike?
Dude, I'm super vain. I'm naming Cloud me.
Which, let me check real quick. You are in the lead right now, so let's, if you guys want to keep
That was
Spike
already an
there.
option before she asked me where I would be. I was like, all right, put it there. Everybody else says, like, save, kill the animals. Get creative, people.
We have a $20 donation from Anonymous that says, DJ Kurai here with my first ever GDQ donation. Good luck to Bloody on the run.
Thank you.
Princely Crow donating $5 saying, doing my $5 part. Chat should do the same.
Yeah, they should. We're at 860. I know we can get to 900 before.
We've got this final dungeon, and then we have all the incentive bosses that we're going to be throwing out for you guys. Exactly 15 that we're going to be throwing out. So you got a little bit, which goes by faster than you think. They're each like a minute. So, like, get your donations in now.
Donate, donate, donate. All right.
And cheer us some bits. Just want that 5 million for Majora's Mask. Okay. So heading into our last time in Twilight Town. We got a couple of fights before we get out of here. Taking a little detour here because we see some skateboard action, helping us out with some movement. Moving up here, we're going to be using Master Genie. I don't know how this idiot works, so I'm going to let Bloody explain how he works.
Yeah. Well, first we have to get through what I like
The forest.
The Forest of Death. Every single shot here one-shots you, so I have to be pretty careful. Dodge that.
Shout-outs to Muffin Cutie.
Get behind that. Let that thing just pass straight through me.
There's no way you knew that one was coming.
No, I... Okay, so while you are summoning things, objects like that just phase through, just like the trees, so... Anyway, we actually get to the fight. Using Magnet combined with Master Genie's Infinity, or I think it's, let me see, the Arcana limit, it'll suck them in, and when these two are separated, they do like some pretty measly damage, but when they're together, they do a lot of hits,
He's also
which just racks up damage.
He's also specifically moving away from the enemies when using the magnet, except for the samurais here. Because for most of them, you want Genie to suck them into the magnet.
Yeah, it has to do with like weird invisible weight property that each of these enemies have.
Yeah, for some reason, the samurais, you just want to do it right on top of them. They're kind of spreading out a little bit, which isn't exactly what you want to see, but I think we should still be fine.
Yeah, your boy Mickey is a little not cool. We're good.
There we go.
There we go.
Not bad.
Yeah, Mickey. Yeah, that was good. That was good. That was good.
Genie damage with Magnet is just absolutely insane in the 60 FPS version of this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, shoutouts to patch 1.04 because if we didn't have that come out a couple weeks ago, that whole thing would have not really
yeah.
worked.
Yeah.
Every other patch that's been coming out has been kind of messing up things. Shouts to Square Enix not really knowing what they're doing, but
The call-outs.
We're close, though. We're almost there.
But Dax,
I
they're
got a few weeks.
trying. They're trying really hard.
I know.
You shouldn't be so mean to them.
I'm sorry.
All right, so you get to hear the opening of this music like 5 times.
That's the one thing I wish they would have just straight up changed
Yeah.
from the previous versions now that they removed the load time.
String it together, man. Okay, so we've got this little pre-fight with just all these dusks. We're just going to be getting a lot of reflex into magnets to take care of them. And then Donald and Goofy are going to be taken out for Axel. And Axel can be a big issue because, again, we don't want, just like Mickey in that last fight where he kind of knocked them away, we want to keep all the enemies close so we can kill them as quickly as possible. So it's having to run around and catch them.
So for these nobody waves, he's going to do more or less the same thing he just did there. He's going to bait out an attack first, and then he's going to reflect Magnet into finishing leap and use some aerial attack there for chip damage as well.
Now we have assassins. If an assassin does a suicide, a blow-up
Yeah.
attack, it will kill you.
This is one-shot territory right now. so-
Pops into limit form there just to get his MP refilled.
Yeah, so he needs to reflect out of that because that actually will deflect an attack right out of it. Well,
All right, so Axel kind of messed with things, so he's going to have to improvise here.
There we
and
go.
there we go.
how
Finished
did
off well.
okay.
Magnet into Trinity.
Yeah.
Again, every time an enemy gets hit out of the magnet and then pulled back in, it does more damage. So even though magnet itself doesn't do a lot of damage, when you're doing it 900 times,
Right.
it does quite a bit.
Okay, we're coming up on the only changed part, you could say, like in terms of a fight for the Final Mix version. We're going to actually fight Roxas here. It's not just a cutscene. And
That sucks.
that's
It's
okay.
The cool movement tech, man. Just didn't like you today.
I will mostly just let this fight speak for itself. The way these combos work together, it's absolutely beautiful. A lot of what we're using here is abusing that revenge value, getting him to attack back at the right times.
Everything about this is centered around having him retaliate exactly when we're expecting it, so that we can reflect every time he retaliates. Just listen to music.
Okay, now the hard part. Okay, that's really good.
Don't worry, he knew that was going to happen. Using the limit form to get that deflection off him right there. Now he's going to be using Ars Arcanum. There is one more hit after that. He's not using it.
Awesome. And that strat has changed very slightly
Yes.
over the years. It's unbelievable using Ragnarok at the end of that too, on top of some of the changes he did to use
Yeah.
one less Blizzard early on to save the MP.
Yeah, it was to cut out having to use Trinity Limit at one point just to kind of link together that damage to get him under 2 bars. You might notice that he's pretty much almost out of ethers, but he's going to do one more shopping trip
Yeah,
here to get.
we have just enough ethers to make it past Roxas. And now, we mentioned Antiform a little while ago. Here he is.
Yep. That anti-form is planned. We always know that we'll either get anti-form or final form there.
There's a very small percentage chance.
Either
we get
way,
final.
all of his anti-points are gone now, and so we can safely use our drive forms again in battle without having to worry about it.
We're getting our drive back right here, using that. And then we're doing that specifically to go into Antiform again, go into this room. This will give us a drive recovery because it's one of those special rooms. And that kind of takes care of things.
Here is the next absolutely beautiful fight. We have got Zigbar. It changed a lot with how much more damage Duck Flare has done. So getting the last of our ethers and
gonna
getting our
use-
elixir.
Yeah, we get an elixir because of that item we picked up way back in Timeless River, that one synth item.
Swapping to Hero's Crest there that we got from Olympus Coliseum because Zigbar is going to be in the air pretty much the entire time, so we want to have air combo boost. Coming up right here, so he's going to be attacking and staggering him at very specific times. First of all, he needs to go ahead and use the reaction command. And then Zigbar is going to come down and use 3 sets of lasers. He wants to reflect the first one just to get a little bit of chip damage in to balance out this damage. Now he's going to let him go a 3rd time and then go into Duck Flare. Holding this, watch out for that limit gauge up there. It's going to just about run out, and then he's going to time it. The number he's looking for is to get him to just right under 3 bars of health. So he's going to get in one more combo here. Once he gets under 3, then he's going to actually be using Valor Form. We're getting nostalgic and bringing it back. So he's going to use that to iframe through one of these. giving him that health refill. Now he's going to go up. He's going to go into a double finisher, canceling out before the last one, going into an air combo, into fire, hyper-extending this combo to go into the duck flare and go for the kill right now. This should be able to get him. See you, nerd.
Oh, no!
Yeah!
Woo! When he teleports away like that, he could have just DM'd, but instead, whew, that was good. The like, not only the just number of precise inputs, because I'll be the first to say that fight is impossible.
That is still one of the absolute hardest fights in the game.
Even on beginner mode, I tried to learn that fight, and it's just absolutely insane. And it's not only the preciseness with all of your inputs, but the variety in there. He, you know, had the point where he went into Valor form, did 2 finishers, had to then revert from Valor form to then use a fire, to then use a limit, to then keep using air combos all without touching the ground. So it's absolutely insane.
There we go.
He just re-equipped the Decisive Pumpkin there because, again, he's going back to now mostly ground combos, and he put the Oblivion Keyblade, which he just got, onto Valor form. Forgot what it was for. Oh, yeah, I remember what it's for, but it's for something later on. Don't worry about it. All right, Luxord, this is Square. You're doing great. All the patches are great, man. Please fix this fight.
Yeah, we used to be able to loop this fight pretty well. Unfortunately, now that's impossible on patch 1.03 and above.
All right, so he was in that dice form. He just wanted to get through that dice form as quickly as possible.
If we see the minigame over and over, we're going to be super happy because there we actually have the ability to continue this loop. A slap shot into a reflect into a finisher allows us to make this happen. He's going to keep using it for us right now, which is great.
We want to see this. There's one of 2 attacks he could use. All right, so here it is.
Okay, this is where we unfortunately can no longer really...
I didn't want him to chase me, that one card, but he did anyway.
We really can't have a reliably stable fight anymore after some of the changes they made if he uses this card attack.
Not liking the fact that he's using these attacks. Okay, now, in this case, hopefully, that'll take care of
those cards
the
can do
cards.
a ton of damage, so it's nice to get them caught in that reflect damage. So there's a specific health barrier that he's looking for. If you look at the top, like the gimmick of this fight is that we're getting that time gauge down as opposed to just health. You can lose health as well and you'll die, but you need to lower his time gauge. You see the time gauge actual word at the top. You need to get it to where it's like just past that black bar that's kind of on the line with it. So he's very close. And then he should be able to link together a combo to make this work.
And Luxord has a very long desperation move at the end of it. We want to skip that. We're going to start that right now using the solo Trinity just for extra damage as well as you know, keeping him stunned. We're then going to go straight into limit form, the explosion, knock him up in the air, go right into an Ars Arcanum. Again, we're not going to use the finishing move, the Ars Arcanum. We'll explain a little bit why. But he's going to then poke him a couple more times, get him down to the right health value.
Just has the perfect amount of stagger, and see ya.
Perfect.
Besides him breaking out that one time, that actually was a pretty good fight.
Yeah, he kept giving you the minigame, which is fantastic. It's exactly what we want to see. And as we mentioned a couple times, every time he's using Ars Arcanum, he's going all the way up until the last hit, but not using it. That's because of that revenge value mechanic. Ars Arcanum does a lot of damage, so it adds a lot of revenge value. It's like 9 or something that
So this is probably the most technical fight
they coded on the end
in the run. With the addition of Duck Flare, it's pretty crazy that the strat
Yeah, you might remember this used to be a Peter Pan fight.
Yeah.
Now it's, much more complicated.
All right. One good thing is that Donald's dead. That makes things easier.
It ain't just a meme. He actually means it. Yeah, main idea is he wants to keep him up against the wall right here so that he isn't dashing all around the arena and more of these reflects actually hit.
Yeah, it's a triple reflect right there. It's three individual reflects hitting him. All right, good. Now,
going into limit form here again, more of that Xantitsikin into Ars Arcanum.
If he drops any bit of this, he'll go into his Berserk phase.
Now right into Duck
Let
Flare.
him land. You want to let them land because if you don't, they'll just get popped up in the air and a lot of stuff will whiff.
Wow.
nice.
Duck Flare is just crazy, man.
Yeah, it really is. A lot of these Duck Flare strats are relatively new with the addition of the PS4. It was powered up on the PS3 version, but the load times were so bad for that. We saved literally like an hour and 40 minutes on load screens.
The other
in
crazy
PS4.
thing about that fight with how technically demanding it is he also went into limit form, so he used his drive gauge, but he built all the way back up to 3 drive because he wants to be able to use wisdom form right here for movement.
Yes.
So
Giving
be
him
able to
that
just
extra quick run.
barely get up to 3 drive while also having to keep track of everything else that's going on.
Edo, let's hear 2 donations while we're climbing this.
All right, we have a $10 donation from Asa that says, BB, good luck, my boy. You hope you have an awesome time. Wish I could have made it this year, but the grind has got me on lock. I'll see you at AGDQ, dude.
Yeah.
Shout outs to the goons.
Yeah, shout outs to the Goon Squad, and good luck at Evo, dude.
And then we also got a $10 donation from Red Roses that says, go, BB, go. Do it for best girl.
All right, now we're into our first fight with Xemnas. And this fight is going to have this long building RC that we're going to do here.
Hit the star for good luck. I do that every now and then.
So this building RC is, you can, I mean, you just watch it. It takes a long time. It's does quite a bit of damage.
Yeah.
But it's really not worth it all the time. So hopefully this will be the only time we see this in this fight.
There are actually 3 different reaction commands he could have used there. One that just dodges him, second that does a little bit of damage, and this third one which does a ton of damage.
Now he's going to land here, jump back into the air, and do an aerial combo. This is the strat that Bloody learned right before the run at AGDQ 2015, so I'm glad that he was able to completely destroy it this time.
So with these reflect combos, if you just spam a bunch of reflects, it will only do 1. It'll only give yourself 1 addition of reflect. But by using reflect, slap shot, which is that keyblade attack, and then going into another reflect, and then going with the guard break after that, it makes each of those different reflects do individual damage, making for some crazy combos.
Xemnas can use either a shorter combo, a longer combo, this being the shorter, or he can put up a barrier and say guard. And so Bloody has to react to all of them, and he wants to try to get the short combo a lot. And now we're going for the skip on that second building RC.
Nice.
And
He
it
actually,
should be good.
Xemnas could have possibly gotten out of that, but Bloody used...
Last hit, wow.
Xemnas is one of those fights that has a lot of recovery, so the R's loop isn't nearly as effective on him. You have to be very, very precise.
Yeah.
Or you got to mash real hard, which is what I do. All right, so final stretch now.
Final battles.
All right.
All right, first phase is best phase.
Definitely the best phase. Got to slice up some buildings.
Yo, nice, dude.
So the boys in chat who know about the emote, you can go ahead and start spamming it. All right.
Now we're just basically making our way to that large ship there to try to take out these engines that are powering it. First we have to go through some more buildings, get more reaction commands.
All right, so coming up here, kind of the, this is all linking into one fight, which is the core fight. We're gonna have to defeat a lot of nobodies to get to the next phases of Xemnas. So he's gonna be using up Magnet to actually kill these different enemies, which will knock them into the background and gradually hit these left and right cylinders.
Yeah, as you can tell by the health bars at the top right and top left. There is a charge meter in the middle too that would fire a laser, but we're not really worried about that as long as we use all these magnets properly.
He's going to save an ether here he's going to get 1 more magnet usage here. And then for the second set of enemies, he's actually going to jump and use Master Form, which the explosion from that will also make all these enemies fall. You only have to hit each of them once to get them to fall into the background. Now he'll get to use 1 more magnet here, because again, going into Drive Form will refill your MP. And then you can just hit 1 more, and that'll give him what he is. Oh yeah, I forgot. Magnet Form, or Magnet also just lasts longer in Master Form. All right, so here's the core fight. He's gonna be using Magnet on it, which with a series of combos will also just make the enemy spawn a lot faster.
Now Master Form has been reverted. We're going to be just doing some more Magnet into Trinity combos here on these first wave enemies, and hopefully the second.
Yeah, there are 2 waves of no bodies here. And normally you have to run the health bar of this core down pretty far, but by utilizing Magnet, for whatever reason, they spawn a lot faster.
Now we're good pal Genie's back out. We're going to switch him over to Master Form again and do those same magnet into Genie limit combos that we were seeing outside of the mansion with Mickey.
To note, if Bloody had gotten Final Form when he got Anti-Form, got Final Form instead, he could have used Final Genie here. Saves like 15 seconds, but it's extremely rare to get it. And again, all these assassins, like they will one-shot you if they go for their death animation.
Getting rid of Genie, we're going to have to build up our drive again. And on top of that, we just want to use Duck Flare on the core here because it's still really powerful. Now he's built up to the Valor, and this is probably why he has Oblivion on
The
him.
AoE finisher right there deals
Does a
about...
ton.
Okay. I'm going to get in the air.
So there, yeah, that building attack, that's a one-shot.